Okay. If you don't mind, I'm just going to get a quick thumbs up that everybody's ready to go. All right. Good afternoon. My name is Glenn Curtis. My military rank is Major General, and I'm the Adjutant General for the Louisiana National Guard. I thank all of you for coming out today. Today, as you can imagine, is a tough day for the Louisiana National Guard and the Marine Corps. I am confirming to you that we had a training accident over in Florida where we had two of our Blackhawk helicopters doing training missions with the Marine Corps. As we speak, there's an ongoing search and rescue operation to search for that aircraft and search for our service members that were on it. And that's as much as I know at this point, or as many details as I know. A little bit about the unit. The unit's official designation is the 1st of the 244th Assault Helicopter Battalion. They do fly the UH-60 Blackhawks and have approximately 385 soldiers in this unit. It is a very experienced unit and one that has received numerous accolades from its service to our nation, to include deployed to Iraq twice in 2004 and 5, and then in 2008 and 2009. Also domestically here in our state, it responded to Hurricane Katrina, Rita, the oil spill that we experienced a couple of years ago, the Mississippi River flood, and Tropical Storm Isaac. I will tell you that both of the pilots were instructor pilots, which is really one of the highest, or the highest rating we have for our pilots in the Army. And the entire crew had several thousand hours of operation flying the Blackhawk. Today I was contacted by President Obama and Governor Jindal, and they asked that I extend to the families and to our service members in Louisiana National Guard that we are in their thoughts and prayers, and that the whole of government, both at the federal and state level, are at our disposal to take care of our soldiers and take care of their families. Let me be very clear. At this hour, our priorities, my priorities, are search and rescue for our soldiers and the Marines, and secondly is to take care of our families, and we are doing both of those. This will remain a search and rescue operation until further notice, and I would ask you, out of respect for the families, I will not release any names at this time, due to respect for them, and I would ask you not to try to basically hunt them down and try to do interviews with them at this point until we figure out where we're going. I would ask you to keep our service members and their families in your thoughts and prayers, and that really concludes my comments. I will be glad to try to answer any questions that you may have.
Major General, Victor Blackwell with CNN. Can you give us any details of the type of training, what they were doing?
Well, we were supporting the Marine Corps, and so that's really about the extent that I know. We were doing lift operations for them. I would refer you back to the Marine Corps for any details on the specifics of the missions or the training missions they were on.
Over here.
Yes, ma'am.
Comment on Pentagon officials telling the Associated Press that all 11 are presumed dead at this time.
I do not have that information. I have been talking to the Incident Command Post over at Eglin, and you know, what I'm getting back from them is that is a search and rescue operation.
When did your first leave here to go there for the training?
I don't have the specific dates. They've been there they left Sunday. Okay. They left Sunday, and it was a normal course of business for us to work across the services in training missions.
Major General, before we start.
Yes, sir.
At what point do you ask the instructor pilot to make a decision as to whether or not to go or not to go? The weather was kind of bad last night.
Yeah, now I'm not a pilot, so I'll speak from a novice standpoint. But they are very cognizant of weather conditions before they depart on a mission. But you know, you can depart from one station and hit weather that you didn't expect, and so the conditions have to be right for them to take off. Now, what they run into while they're airborne is a different story.
General Rudy Harper, Fox News. Can you talk about training minimums with the National Guard?
Well, our pilots train to the same standards as active Army pilots or any helicopter pilots across the Department of Defense. When I tell you these guys were instructor pilots, I can tell you they had several thousand hours in that cockpit, and they had several thousand combat hours in that cockpit. But they go through simulations for all kind of situations that may come up, whether it's weather, engine problems, et cetera, et cetera. But the standards that are required for any soldier in the Army and across DOD to be a helicopter pilot, they had met those over the years, and they have to remain current.
Sure. Was there any call for help, do you know of right now?
I do not know that. I do not know that. I think the incident command post will look into that, and then there will be an investigation pending outcome to see exactly what was said or not, when.
Sure, and I'm under the understanding that there was 2 helicopters.
There were.
Near each other, or?
There were 2 helicopters that were on the mission. One of them started to take off and then realized, I guess, that the weather was a condition, and turned around and came back. But that helicopter and that crew and all members on that crew are safe and sound.
Sure, one more question. Our crews at Fox 10 interviewed some people that live in the area, and they heard some sounds, and they thought something was wrong. Will you be talking to people in the area to find out any more?
I personally won't, but I can tell you that a follow-on investigation will be conducted, and they typically are very thorough with those any type of aviation accident.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Can you speak to the fact if they're searching for any recording device that was on the helicopter?
I'm not aware of any recording devices that are on our Blackhawks. They do have transponders so that their location is known, if you will. So, but there are no, and I'm aware of, and I can stand corrected by the experts in the back, but I'm not aware of any like black boxes or anything that are on our Blackhawk helicopters.
And as far as the dense fog or heavy fog at that time, so, can you talk about the training mission, the training that the servicemen need to have when it comes to fog?
Well, part of remaining current as a pilot, and again, I'm not a pilot, so, but part of staying current is either in simulation or in the aircraft itself. They have to go through all types of tests where you fly into a fog bank, if you will, and instantly you have to stop flying visually and start flying on your instruments. That's something that they practice on a very common and regular sequence of events.
General, can you just talk about, it's different when it's a guard unit, and you have 4 members of one unit. It's a terrific impact, not only on the unit, but on the community.
Yeah, it is. It's, the National Guard is in over 3,000 communities in the United States. And we tell people that we have soldiers and airmen that are in every zip code in the continental United States. And so often, the units are hometown units. And so it's aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, etc. That if we deploy them to a war fight, or if we deploy them here in the state for an emergency, it is the entire community that leaves. And so, the Hammond area is affected, but as a state and as a nation, we will wrap our arms around them and take care of them until this search and rescue is over with.
A
Yes,
little
sir.
bit about the history of this unit, the employment background.
I'm sorry.
The history of this unit, the employment background.
Deployment background?
No, this, yeah.
Yeah, they to the war fight that we've been in the last 13 years, they deployed in 2004 and 5, and then they went again in 2008 and 9 for 1 year each time. And then they've deployed, since 2005, we've had numerous disasters here in the state of Louisiana. It started with they were in Hurricane Katrina, Rita, they did the oil spill, the Mississippi River flood, and then Tropical Storm Isaac. But I can also tell you, every year they go out and, with the wildfires in the West, they go out and fly operations to drop water on the wildfires. They've been on missions on the border, supporting the immigration services. So they're a great unit. They have a great history, and they're tremendous pilots and tremendous soldiers.
General, can you speak a little bit to the Academy of Associated Press, to what they did say during Hurricane Katrina? Would they have been involved in some of the rescue?
Yes, sir. all of the helicopter assets in Louisiana during Katrina were committed early. I mean, as soon as the storm effects went down low enough where we could get Blackhawks in behind the storm to start the search and rescue, this unit and the other unit we have here in state were the first ones in, and they stayed until the end. I would tell you from an aviation standpoint, they have what we call first or second touches and first touches where you get them off rooftops, so to speak, of about 50,000 personnel. And then first and second touches, a total of about 78,000 personnel that we moved collectively. You know, the Louisiana National Guard, active duty, the Coast Guard, wildlife and fisheries, all of those. So they were integral in the after effects of Katrina, and they saved thousands of lives during that storm.
Would they have been in rooftop rescues or anything along those lines? Or?
Sir, I'm sorry?
Would that have been a rooftop rescues?
Yes, sir.
Things along-
They picked people off rooftops, took them off levee systems, pulled them out of the water, whatever was required. But I would tell you again, in Isaac, which is not as well publicized, we had about 6,000 citizens in Laplace that we had to do nighttime operations on, by boat, high water vehicles, and aircraft. So they were involved in that as well.
General, have you spoken with, or do you plan to speak with the families of the force field missing?
I do. I plan on this afternoon making my rounds to go see the families and speak to them and see if there's anything else that we can do for them right now. But I would tell you that this morning, I would say roughly around 7 a.m., we had notification officers at their homes to notify the families that there had been an accident and that search and rescue was underway. And we've tried to keep some of our service members, our family support group people, with them since. But I plan to visit them this afternoon, and then I'll probably be with them again tomorrow, and until we get to in-state on this thing.
Jerome, how are you moving up personally?
It's a tough day. You know, when you're responsible, they're under my command, and so I take very seriously their safety and well-being and that of their families. And so, but it's not the first time I've been through this, unfortunately, and hopefully it'll be the last, but I'm doing fine, thank you.
What agency will make the final determination of the cause of the wreck?
I'm sorry.
What agency will make the final determination of the cause of the wreck?
There'll be the safety board inspection, and Colonel Bassett, I guess that would be the Aviation Center out of Fort McClellan.
Sir, yes, sir, one indeterminate lead agency will come out, probably Fort Rucker, the CRC Center.
Fort Rucker, I'm sorry, Fort Rucker, Alabama. The safety center there will make the final determination for the accident.
Is there a specific point you will turn the search and rescue into a recovery mission?
I will not make that decision. Eglin Air Force Base has the incident command post set up, and the leadership there that are actually doing the search and rescue will make the determination if we need to transition to recovery. But I will tell you again, we are still in search and rescue. I know there's a lot of information out, but I talked to them just before I walked in here, and we are still in a search and rescue mode.
And for clarification, I know you said that they were also involved in Hurricane Katrina.
Yes, ma'am.
Oil spill. These four specifically, or everyone?
Three of them were in Katrina. One of them was not. So.
Where would you say these weather conditions might be replicated? I mean, they train in conditions that are similar to ones in the fight. Are any off the top of your head that you can think of?
Where they would replicate them in their training?
Right, where these conditions would replicate the ones out there in the air.
Again, I'm not a pilot, but I would tell you that I know that we have a simulator here in the state that our pilots are in all the time. And they put them through numerous scenarios, whether it's something weather related or if it's something mechanical goes wrong or whatever. But also they have to fly in the helicopter with instructor pilots with them that will put them through different scenarios, saying, okay, this just happened, whatever it is. Maintenance issue, you just hit a fog bank, you just entered a thunderstorm, what are your actions?
General, are all the soldiers from this area?
I would tell you they're from the state of Louisiana, yes, sir. Yes,
Sir,
sir.
are they married children?
I'm sorry?
Married children?
Yes.
Do all of them?
Yes, they are. And I'm not trying to be coy. I'm just trying to be very respectful to those families right now and not putting more angst or pressure on top of them than what we need to at this time.
Can you tell us if how many are male, female?
All male.
All male?
Yes, sir.
Have you spoken with the pilot and crew of the other Blackhawk, the one that turned back?
I have not.
Have they been interviewed?
When you say interviews,
Screens to what they saw, if they noticed anything?
I'm sure that they've either gone through that today or they will go through that, yeah.
It's still obviously very early. Is there any kind of preliminary cause that y'all are pursuing for what happened? A mechanical failure, human error, weather?
No, sir.
conditions? Okay.
No, sir. Our main effort right now is getting our soldiers and Marines back. That's it, and taking care of our families.
Can you confirm that some human remains were found? Some outlets are saying that.
I cannot confirm that, no ma'am. Okay, I'm sorry I couldn't provide you with more information, but I at least wanted to get out and tell you what I know at this point, and we will keep you updated as things develop. And I will ask you again, please keep these families and our soldiers and those Marines in your thoughts and prayers this evening. Thank you.
Make one technical correction. This model, UH-60, we determined that it does contain a flight data recorder. So this is a newer UH-60 model, and it does contain a black box. So I'm sure that's part of the investigation as well.
UH-60, you said?
UH-60.
U8?
UH, H is in Hilo.
What's your name?
Pete Schneider, Colonel Pete Schneider, I'm the State Public Affairs Officer. If we get together again, this will be the operation area that we'll use. I certainly will try to accommodate as many phone calls as possible. But understand, like I said earlier, I'm working with the Marine Corps and with Eglin to make sure we try to keep a standard information flow out to you guys, so you're not getting 10 different pieces of information. With in mind that we have to keep the families of the 7 Marines as well as the 4 soldiers in mind. So, yes.
Colonel, when do you expect to announce the names of the 4 involved?
As soon as the determination, if it's made, that search and rescue is over and it moves into recovery, and we are, then we have to notify families. So I couldn't tell you what that is, if in fact that happens. But we're hoping we stay in a successful search and rescue.
Colonel, have records been checked to make sure that this was in proper working order and properly maintained?
Absolutely. Part of the investigation, very, very detailed investigation, very thorough. We'll go through the entire maintenance, pilots, fuel. Unfortunately, the aviation experts in the military, both fighters and helicopters, are very experienced in determining causes of crashes. So all the records will be reviewed, and then they will have a determination. But that is a lengthy process, very lengthy. So I would not look for a quick answer on that, as it should be, to determine the cause of this accident. Okay, thanks, guys.